Lesson 12.2 is on box and whisker plots. We are going to look into the essential question: how can you organize large data sets and analyze them? So first we need to know what box and whisker plot is and how they display the data. So a box and whisker plot is a data display that displays the distribution of data items along a number line. That means you're going to have a number line and you're going to have a set of numbers, and depending on how many numbers are going to be on that data set, you can have different percentage or distribution of the numbers. You are going to use obviously a box, and you're going to have two lines on either side of the box that kind of looks like whiskers, so that's why we call box and whisker plot. For this set of data, you're going to see quartiles. So you're going to use quartiles, upper quartiles, lower quartiles, all quite a bit. And quartiles actually mean dividing the data into 4 equal parts. So think of quarters. They are 25 cents each of $1. So think of quarters as quartiles, quartiles as quarters. So let's go ahead and take a look at this data set. Let's say we had some survey and we asked random people on the street, and these are the ages of the participants. So we have people from 60s, 30s, 20s, 40s, really from all over the place. So we're going to go ahead and make the box and whisker plot for this certain data set, and I'm going to break it down into a few steps that you can use. So the first step is to organize the data set from least to greatest number, and then find the median. If you recall, median is going to be the number in the center by counting the data set. So you're not really going to find out the average, but it's going to be the physically middle number that you have from the data set. So I went ahead and organized all the numbers from the above into a least to greatest order. You can go ahead and pause the video whenever you need to see if you have the right answer, and check afterwards. So what I'm going to do is to count the numbers from outside to inside. So I'm going to start from both ends here, and then I'm going to count 1, 2, 3, and then see where my number is going to meet up at. So I just put numbers starting from the end, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I kind of mashed up, used my 2 fingers, and have 1 finger here, 1 finger here, and then kind of count it in as I move in on the other side too. Thankfully, this data set has odd number of sets. That means I'm going to have one median that is going to be 40 in this case. Okay, so I found my median. That's my first step. Now the next step is to find the lower quartile and the upper quartile of this data set. Lower quartile is going to be the median of the lower half. So what you're going to do is you're going to look at these half of the data set, and then you're going to see which one is going to be the middle number. So what you do is you count them off, 2, 3, and by the time you counted 3, you're going to have a number, which is going to be 28 in this case. I'm going to do the same on the other side. So I'm going to go ahead and count, and I do not include the median here. I'm going to count the other numbers, 1, 2, 3. And my median, or the upper quartile for the upper half, is going to be 61. So now that I have these numbers, I can move on to the next step. So now it's the time to draw and compose your box and whisker plot. If you notice, I have several different components. First, I have the number line, and I'm going to make sure that it's enough to cover all the data set and then have some extra space on each side. And then I also have a title, age of the participants for the survey. it's too long, so I just put age of the participants. And then I'm going to go ahead and draw the box and whisker plot. I am going to need several different things. First, I am going to start with the values that I know. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and just mark the numbers. It's not going to be completely accurate, so I'm going to mark it with a dot and then also go ahead and write the numbers underneath. The first one, I was supposed to find the median, which is step 1, which was 40. So this is going to be my median, and that's 40. And then I have my lower quartile, which is 28. And it's going to be a little less than 30, so I'm going to put right here 28. And then I am also going to use my upper quartile, which is 61. So it's a little past 61. Okay, and then the two other ones that I have to include are going to be the least amount of number and then the greatest amount of number. So the greatest one is 75, so I'm going to put it over here, 75. And then the least one is 21, so it's going to be somewhere around here. Now, what I'm going to do after this, I am going to connect the last two and then the first two. Okay, that indicates that the range of this whole data set is from 21 all the way to 75. And then what you're going to do is you're going to make a box that connects 28 and 61 and then 40 in the center. So you're going to make a box, and remember you have these lines going through the middle of these dots. Okay, so this is really what you have to do. You just have to find the median of the data. You don't have to find a whole range of average. It's going to be using the median only. What can we learn from this data set? We have most our numbers skewed into the left side of the box, so we can tell that most of the participants are going to be somewhere in the middle range, and then we do have some older participants, but it's not going to be as many compared to the younger people. By looking at this data set, you can find multiple different things. Again, the range of the age for the participants, we have 21 all the way to 75. We have also the first 50%, which is going to be from the first quartile and the second quartile all the way to the middle part. We have a lot of younger generation participating. As you go to the older generation, your median is going to be 61. So you will have participants who are older all the way into 40, 50, 60s, and 70s. So you're going to have some older population with a lot more age, and then we also have some ages that are going to be closely together. Let's go ahead and see what we can do using the box and whisker plot below. So I'm giving you a hypothetical situation. Let's say we did a survey with basketball players and their height, and to make things easier on our end, we're going to convert them into inches. Okay. Let's say I have two data sets for the basketball players. So we surveyed the men's and also the women's height. So we're going to draw conclusions based on the information that are given to us. First, let's look at the median and the range for the men's and women's height. So let's look at the possible conclusions that we can draw from this chart. First, women's. The women's height have a median of 71. And the range of their height is from 66 to 76, so really you only have 10 inches of range. For men's height, if you look at it, you are going to see the median of 79 in the center, and you're going to have a range from 73 to 85, so you're going to have a range of 12 inches. It's a foot of a difference. Some of the other information, for example, is going to be most of the men, because it's going to be from most men. Some men are shorter, but most men, which is 75% of men, are going to be taller than the tallest women. So 76, 77 and up, this is going to be 25, 25, 25. So you have 75%. You can say that it's most of the men. Okay. On the other hand, you can also say that some of the women, because it's going to be about 25%, some women are taller than the shortest man as well. So these are some examples of what you can do using this type of data analysis. You can always use it by percentage, first, second, third, fourth. These are all by quarter, so 25%, 50%, 75%, and all the way to 100%. So to summarize this lesson, I'm going to give you some key points. First one is to find the median. And in order to do that, you'll have to put them in least to greatest order and make sure you count them correctly. Make sure you have all these data set correctly laid out. So all you have to do is to pick the middle number that you have. Second step is to find the lower and the upper quartile of the data set, which is going to be the median of the lower half and the median of the upper half. So the point is this: you're going to end up with 5 different numbers. You're going to have the median that you find first. You're going to have the lower quartile, which is the median of the lower half, upper quartile, which is the median of the upper half, and then you're going to find the least number and the greatest number. And you should have these two information when you are first finding your median. And then the last one is to graph them, just connect them. Make sure you are just connecting the least number to the lower and upper quartiles, like arms or whiskers, and then you'll have to create the box using the lower quartile, median, and the upper quartile. And once you connect the other dots too and make a box, voila, you have your box and whisker plot. And here are the distribution of your data set. Since they're divided into quarters, the first least to lower quartile is going to be the first 25. Lower quartile to median is going to be half. From median to upper quartile, it's going to be 75% all the way up to here. And then for upper quartile to the greatest number, you're going to have percentage from 75 to 100%. So these are your information for today, and good luck with your homework.